discovered how the brain's default mode network locks us into rigid mental ruts, driving confirmation bias and keeping us trapped on autopilot. But once you recognize those old loops, how do you actually change the physical hardware of your brain to stop falling back into them? Welcome back to episode 3 of Mastering the Mind. I am so glad you're here. In episode 2, we mapped out why your brain loves taking energy-saving shortcuts and how these automated patterns create cognitive blind spots. But understanding your mental ruts is only half the journey. To truly transform how you think, react, and create, you have to leverage the brain's most powerful superpower, neuroplasticity. Today, we're diving into how your brain physically rewires itself, how habits are structurally carved into your neural pathways, and the exact steps you can take to build new, empowering mental architecture from scratch. For a long time, the scientific community believed that once you reached adulthood, your brain structure was more or less locked into place. We know now that that is completely false, because your brain is a dynamic, living ecosystem that is capable of changing its structure and function throughout your entire life in response to your experiences, thoughts, and behaviors. This is neuroplasticity. At the microscopic level, every time you practice a skill, focus on a new concept, or consciously interrupt an old reaction, your neurons fire together. When they fire repeatedly, the connection between them strengthens, a process neuroscientists describe as cells that fire together, wire together. Over time, frequently used neural pathways grow a protective, fatty sheath called myelin. Think of myelin like insulation around an electrical wire. The thicker the insulation, the faster and more efficiency electrical signals travel down that path. This is why habits feel automatic. Your brain builds superhighways for behaviors you repeat often, so they require no conscious effort. The catch? Your brain doesn't care whether a habit is good for you or bad for you. It only cares about efficiency. If you habitually stress, worry, or default to negative thinking, you are actually myelinating those destructive pathways. Fortunately, the exact same mechanism means you can consciously choose to build better ones. To rewire your brain, you first have to understand how habits are physically structured in your neural circuitry. Every single habit, whether it's checking your phone the second you wake up or taking a deep breath when you feel overwhelmed, operates on a 3-part neural loop discovered by behavioral researchers. 1. The cue. This is the trigger that initiates the behavior. It can be a time of day, an emotional state, a location, or the presence of specific people. Your brain scans for cues constantly to decide which pre-written script to execute. 2. The routine. This is the actual behavior itself, the physical or mental action you take in response to the cue. 3. The reward. This is the payoff. When you complete the routine, your brain releases a hit of dopamine, reinforcing the loop and teaching your nervous system to repeat that exact sequence the next time the cue appears. Most people try to change a bad habit by attacking the routine with sheer willpower, which rarely works because the cue and the reward are still active. To permanently alter your brain's architecture, you have to intercept the loop right where it starts. If you leave your neural architecture on autopilot, your life becomes defined by paths of least resistance. When you fail to actively direct your neuroplasticity, you experience deepening ruts, negative or anxious thought patterns that carve deeper canyons into your brain, making them the default response to even minor stressors. Loss of agency. You feel like you are reacting to life rather than designing it, trapped by automatic behaviors that no longer serve your goals. Cognitive stagnation. Without intentional learning and novel challenges, your neural connections begin to prune away unused potential, shrinking your capacity for complex, flexible thinking. Rewiring your brain doesn't require magic. It requires consistency, strategic interruption, and leverage of the habit loop. Here are 4 practical ways to take control of your neuroplasticity starting today. 1. Habit stacking. Instead of trying to build a brand new habit from scratch, which requires massive activation energy, attach your new desired behavior to an existing, deeply ingrained daily cue. If you already drink a glass of water every morning, stack your new mindfulness or planning habit right on top of that established cue. 2. Friction engineering. Want to break a bad habit? Increase the friction. If you want to stop getting distracted by your phone during deep work, put it in another room. By making the routine harder to reach, you starve the old neural pathway of its reward. 3. Micro-repetition over intensity. Neuroplasticity responds best to frequency, not massive single-day efforts. Spending 5 minutes every single day practicing a new mindset or skill physically reshapes your neural connections much faster than doing a 3-hour marathon once a month. 4. The post-action reward shift. When you successfully interrupt an old automated loop and execute a new positive behavior, consciously acknowledge the win. Give yourself a mental high five or a reward to spike that dopamine release. Explicitly telling your brain, this new pathway is valuable, and to save this. As we wrap up episode 3 of Mastering the Mind, remember that your brain is not a finished monument. It is a permanent work in progress. Every thought you entertain and every habit you repeat is actively sculpting the physical hardware of your future self. Stop letting old wiring dictate your limits. Understand your loops, leverage your neuroplasticity, and keep optimizing your mind. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep questioning, keep growing, and I will see you in episode 4. I hope you guys enjoyed these visuals today. These are from the Connecticut College Arboretum in New London, Connecticut. They are truly peaceful and would make a perfect relaxing piano video. Thanks for watching.